up, everyone? All right, well, here we are, Wednesday morning. We're halfway through the week, and, well, I suppose more than, because markets closed on Friday for Good Friday. So tomorrow is the last day of the week for us. So it's a 4-day week, and right now I've got 3 green days under my belt. Green Monday, green Tuesday, green again today. Today I only traded one stock, recent IPO from yesterday. Yesterday, this thing actually went from 12 bucks all the way up to $36. This morning, it bottomed out at 12, which is kind of crazy. So you can start to picture this chart. It went from 12 to 36, back to 12, and then rallied back up to 36 or 35. It's at 21 now. So this thing was all over the place. But I got in and I did pretty well on it. I could have done better. I could have let it ride a little bit more. And one of the things I will talk about during the recap is the fact that today I took it off the table quickly because I knew it was a riskier trade. And if it had kept going, you know what I would have said? Why didn't you hold it longer? Come on, man. You know, you could have held it a little longer and you could have ended up having maybe twice or 3 times as big of a winner. But then this one ended up reversing. And when they reverse, you end up saying, oh, I'm so glad I took some profit off the table. Or if you're still holding it, you're like, why didn't I take a little off the table? So sometimes it feels like you can never kind of win. You either feel like you should have held it longer or you should have sold it sooner. And initially I was like, oh, maybe I should have held it a little longer because it went quite a bit higher than where I got out. But then when it turned around, I was like, you know what? That's why you took the profit, because you got to sell into strength. So I hope you guys enjoy the recap. As always, make sure you hit the thumbs up. I hope you're subscribed to the channel. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning right here on YouTube for the morning show. It'll be the last one of the week, and then we'll have a long weekend and we'll be back at it on Monday morning. So recap today, and we'll see what tomorrow has in store for us. Remember, as always, if you didn't already know, trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money, and my results are not typical. So please take it slow. Don't try to blindly follow me or anyone else, and make sure you practice in a simulator before you put real money on the line. All right, let's get into today's recap. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in here. So today I only traded one stock. It was GNS. I did not trade this one yesterday, although I was looking at it. I didn't end up trading it, and it was mostly because the volume yesterday was really light, and I wasn't sure I could manage risk on it. So when it first IPO'd yesterday, so this today would be classified as a recent IPO. Setup yesterday was the IPO day, so today is, of course, therefore a recent IPO. And as part of the Warrior Pro curriculum, we have a chapter dedicated to the recent IPO breakout. You guys know that, students know that. Chapter 8, Stock Type Daily Setup 3. This is categorized under Stock Type and Daily Setup because you can trade any pattern that you want. Right? It's a recent IPO. That's not giving you a clear indicator of your entry or exit. So this is a daily setup. It's the type of stock, and it can be a great momentum setup. But your actual entry is going to be based on one of the patterns that we discuss in part 1 of chapter 8, which is, of course, to go back, we've got all of these different entries. So like half dollar, whole dollar, first candle to make a new high, flat top breakout. Again, not to go into a ton of detail on that, but just high level. So GNS does meet the criteria for being a recent IPO setup. Of course, yesterday would have been day 1 of the IPO. Today was recent IPO. Technically, I mean, again, it's like it was just yesterday, but it would still be a recent IPO. Very, very recent. So yesterday, it squeezed up here, and it actually went all the way up to over $36 a share. This stock IPO'd at, I believe, $6. And Boosted was the underwriter of this. Boosted Securities LLC. They have been the underwriter for a number of small cap stocks that have gone bananas. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on certain underwriters because they can be, if you see that they have a history of being the underwriter for stocks that go kind of crazy, that's worth keeping an eye on. So they were the underwriter for this one. Yesterday, it squeezes up at IPOs and it immediately halts up at $16.62. All right, so, but it was on 9,000 shares of volume. It opens higher and goes up to 22 bucks. Another 17,000 shares of volume. Then it opens lower and halts up, 36,000. Then it halts down. Then it opens lower, it's a low of 13, and then it halts up once and halts up twice. And then it halts up at 17.55 and opens at 24 bucks. Oh my goodness. Then it pulls back and goes higher. Where to find the underwriter info? There's different ways you can do that, but typically, so like yesterday, let's see. So it's not populating the news headline from yesterday. Let me see if I can get it on my other computer. No, it's not on. Sometimes it'll be on these headlines where they're just reporting that it's an IPO. Let's see, shares open for trade. No, it's not showing it on this one. We can go over to GNS. Let's see. It might show it over here on your, let's see, Boost. There you go, Boosted Securities. All right, so you could see it if you go into the prospectus here under when you're looking up about the filing. So go to BAM SEC if you want. You could use the SEC's website, but this one it uses the SEC database but presents all of the filings in a way that's easier to see and search. So, and I don't even pay for this. I use the free version. And it's fine. But anyway, so sorry, yeah. So to answer your question there. So anyways, yesterday it halts going back up once, gaps higher, goes up to 25, halts a second time. So it's basically 1, 2, 3 halts in a row going up and goes from 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row going up. And it goes from $13 all the way to 33 bucks. I didn't trade it. I just was like, wow. Halts down, then it rips back up, goes to new high of 36.48, comes down, comes back up, and now here you have basically a double top. It wasn't able to really hold over 36.48. It pulls back, it halts down, then it comes lower. Looks like it was halted here for a while. It comes back up, and then at 4 a.m. this morning, so after hours, by the way, as we went through the day yesterday, it was holding up, kind of looked good. And then look what happened at 4 a.m. Oh my God. 4 a.m. It starts selling off at 401, 402, 403, and it drops all the way down back to 12 bucks. Isn't that wild? All the way back down to 12. And then it bounced. Of course, I'm not trading at 4 a.m. It double bottomed to 12, comes back up to 20, 21, 22. And as we were getting closer to the open, I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And so as it started to squeeze, let's see, where was it? Yeah, it was right in here where I was like, okay, I'm gonna ride the momentum. So right here, it starts to pull away, and I didn't get a very good first entry. I bought it 28 bucks. So I was in at 28 bucks. So that was up here at 28, and I'm a momentum trader, so I embrace the chase, and I see something starting to squeeze, and I jumped on it, and it goes from 28 up to 30 and up to 32. And so on that first trade, I made about $8,000. $4 a share, that's not bad. It was a nice move, and I didn't take big size, but $4 a share, it adds up pretty quickly. So it hits a high of 32, and then I said, all right, we're going to be watching this for the break of 32. So at the open, I bought in this candle right here. As soon as it started to squeeze up, I was long at 30, or maybe around 29.95. So right into the open, bought 29.88, 29.99, and $30. And 5 seconds later, it's halting up at 31.75, almost $2 a share. So it's halting up at 31.75. I took 3/4 of the position off the table. I held the rest. On resumption, it squeezes up to 35, and I was like, man, why'd you sell? You know, this thing, look, now it's going to $35. And let's look at the 10-second chart just for a second. So it squeezes up to 35, and I was thinking 36, you know, yesterday's high. So right here, it goes up to 35. And then in this candle, so initially it opens from the halt, and you can see in this candle, it squeezes up here to 35. And then on this candle, it drops to 30. And then it bounces back up. I did a dip trade. So I bought at 30, I think it was 31. Let's see, I can get you the exact price. I bought at 31.34. And I added at 29.74 into the halt down. I was like, you know what? I think it's going to bounce. It goes lower, and I added again at $20. Sorry, I stopped out at 28.58. So on resumption here, it squeezed up for a second, and as it broke lower, I got out. So I got out here at 28.58, and then I added back on this halt down right here at $21.80 and $20.74. So I added back right down here. Usually, so if we have two halts going up, I start to get a little cautious about a possible reversal. If we have two halts going down, I start to look for a possible reversal. And in this case, I was looking for a bounce. We got three halts going down, and then this went into a halt going up. It opened a little lower. It came up to 23, came up to 24. And then if we bring this a little bit further forward, you'll see that it ended up curling up a little bit more here to $28, all the way up to $28.47. So that was not bad. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. So I made back a little bit of what I lost on this dip right here. So at the open, I went from 8,000 on the day to 22,000 on the day. So this was a big trade for me right in this area as it squeezed into the halt and then went up to $35. On the drop, I gave back about $1,200 and was up 21,000. And then I, of course, averaged down and was able to get back out of that trade on this bounce here up to 24, or what was up to 23, 24 right here, and then got myself back to 22,200 on the day, which was about where I was before taking that dip trade. So that dip trade didn't end up being really profitable, and I was out. And then later it curled right here, which I wasn't part of. So anyways, I got a couple trades on it. This was definitely a bit of a, it's a pretty wild chart. I'll tell you, it's a pretty wild chart. And when we look at the recent IPOs, this isn't gonna go down as one that I would be like, you know, this was a really clean recent IPO setup, because it really wasn't. Some cleaner recent IPOs, you know, this was a cleaner recent IPO from 623 up to 9. That was a nice recent IPO. I mean, that was a nice recent IPO from 7 up to 24. But then I'm trying to think of WNW. So I'm pretty sure Boosted was the underwriter for WNW. So look at this thing. Wow. Holy moly. That is a recent IPO. I mean, my goodness. That thing was crazy. Let me just make sure I have that in the classes. I've got Wimmy, I've got Duo. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I do. That one was just unreal. I mean, it was really insane. So, you know, I mean, you're not always going to get that. CPTN, you know, this was another one. But sometimes you do. And so I step up to the plate. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. Today, you know, I didn't really get a whole lot, all things considered, compared to what we've seen on some of these in the past. But I certainly got green on it and, you know, booked some profit. So that's good. And we'll, you know, live to trade another day, try to do a little bit better tomorrow. Tomorrow is, of course, the last day of the week because the market's closed on Good Friday. But I don't know. So I'll try to finish off the week tomorrow with, you know, 1 or 2 more trades. Hopefully we can have a couple good ones and go into a long weekend. I know it's, you know, these are some wild markets. I would love to have something that was a little bit, had better continuation, better staying power Today we had Viru, which some traders were really focused on. I sort of left it alone. You know, the daily chart, to me, I was just like, I don't know, it was so nasty yesterday. I feel like it's a dead cat bounce, but you know, it did go higher for sure. So I'm happy to see that. You know, it's certainly certainly moving. So Viru, you had some opportunities on that. BLPH, was that? No, which one was it? You had one that was halted on BFRI. BFRI, I missed that one. So you got an FDA announcement on it. It squeezes from 360 up to $6. So that was a pretty nice move. Certainly good to see. But yeah, you know, some are going to hold and some aren't. Just trade the volatility, trade the range, and see if you can book some profit in the meantime until we sort of get the next one that's really strong. You know, Viru was pretty strong the other day, obviously, when it went all the way up to $14. And once again, you know, I didn't feel like I really capitalized on it as well as I could have, and was a little annoyed, but can't be too annoyed. I finished up 14,000 on Viru, and I was up 10 yesterday and 22 today, so that's a $40,000 week. That's a fantastic week. You know, that's 40,000 a week. That'd be 160,000 a month. That's almost a $2 million year. So it can be done with without huge home runs. You know, I mean, I haven't hit any home runs this week. I've had some solid base hits. I didn't have any home runs last week either. I had some solid base hits, you know, a couple trades, you know, 5-figure trades, $10,000, $15,000 winners. You know, a home run for me, I mean, at this point, for me, I'd have to be $50,000, $75,000 on the day to feel like I really crushed it. You know, 15 to 20 right now that feels like a good day, but it's not a crushing it day. Maybe 40 to 50 would feel like a pretty solid day at this point, since it's been a little slower. But yeah, 75, 80, 100, that would be a really good day. And I think I've only had one day this year where I came up to 100,000. Let's see. I think I just had the one day a little bit earlier this year. It was it March? No, it wasn't March. So March was pretty, you know, steady. My biggest green day in March was 22,000, you know, same as today. My biggest green day in February was 65,000. And on that day I was up 90,000, and I was going for that squeeze through 100, and then I gave back some profit. The next day was 50 grand. So those were my two best days of the year so far. January, the best day was 20,000. So, you know, I've been in a little bit of a grind here. The last day that I crossed over 100 grand would have been, let's see. Were there any days in November? November I had a $40,000 day, 78,000, 57,000, 57. So solid days for sure. Super solid days. What does it really matter if it's over 100? It doesn't really matter all that much. But it looks like the last day that was over 100, where I finished at least over 100. You know, I have to go back maybe October, 61,000. You know, these are some good days, but they're not. There you go, 125. So 125,000 there on October 26th. So 112 there on the 22nd. So it's been, you know, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's been like 6 months since I had a day where I broke 100 grand. So I have to adjust expectations. I'm just not hitting those big green days right now. You know, but at the same time, on the month right now, let's see, last week, I haven't imported my trades for March or for April, but I think last week was about 60,000. I want to say I finished around 60 last week, and I'm up 40 this week. So that's about 100,000 on the month of April so far. That's pretty good. I mean, that's solid. I really can't complain about that. We're only halfway through the month, so if we have, you know, a really couple more good weeks, this could be a very solid month, and that could be even without having one day that's a home run. How many red days have I had in 2022? I guess you can count them right here. Those are, I could do win versus loss days and just start at 2022. let's see, January. So I've had, does it give me the count of the number of days? 41 winning days and 16 losing days so far this year. So yeah, 41 winners, 16 losers, winning about 71% of the days. If you compared that to 2021, I don't know what I finished 2021 at in terms of percentages. So 79% of the days were winners in 2021. You know, so that's 10% better. I had 10% more winning days in 2021, but we've only just finished the first quarter, really. So it's still, and this doesn't include anything from April. So April would add another, you know, if I added April, it's going to be another 10 or 11 green days, right? Or how many days is it into April right now? We've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it'd add 9 more green days. So since these numbers are fairly small, that actually might change it quite a bit. 16 red days and now 50 green days. So what's the math on that? Let's see, I said 50 plus 16, 66. Oops. So 75%. So I'm 75% winning days right now, and 25% losing days. But I don't really get, I've had to look all that up because I don't even look at that metric, to be honest. I don't look at it. I usually try to not have more than, I say if I have 1 red day a week, you know, that's okay. So that, you know, is 4 red days a month, right? So that would have me go, you know, at a goal of green 80% of the days, red 20%, right? And last year I did that. This year though, you know, there was 5 red days in January. There were 6 red days in February, and I had 5 red days in March. So I've been a little higher on the red this year. Not a lot, but you know, a little bit. But April is off to a good start, but you know, just as quickly as January was off to a good start, things can go off the rails and turn around real quick. So I've got to keep myself focused, try to stay sharp. If I start to see myself slipping, if a day starts to feel really difficult, I'm going in the red, I got to lighten up, get out, slow down really, really quick before I snowball. And you know, today I knew I was taking a bit more risk on GNS. It was definitely a higher risk trade. It paid off, but it could have, you know, it could have gone the other way as well. And I was willing to take that risk. I probably wouldn't take that same level of risk tomorrow. Why not? Tomorrow's the end of the week, going into a long weekend. Kind of be more inclined just to sort of, you know, have a slow finish to the week. Be green and not overstay my welcome. So that's my thought. But you know, who knows? We'll see what tomorrow gives us. If we see a really good opportunity, but you know, recent IPOs can be the type of stock that can wreck you. And I've had a couple of days where trading on the IPO, I really got smoked. So I am trying to be mindful of that. And that's part of why I was cautious and didn't end up trading it at all yesterday. I just thought, you know what? I don't think I can take the risk. So that's it for me. That's the recap. Those of you guys watching this on YouTube, I encourage you to check out the video. I'll put it up here again on scalp trading and the scalp trading and the simplest strategy for beginner traders. Check out those 2 videos if you want to keep learning. And reminder, as always, trading is risky. My results are not typical, and most beginner traders lose money, so take it slow.